The brand new PVE event that comes with Halloween is out right now, and it is a series of quests that you can complete, and today we're going to get into some of the reasons why this event might actually be one of the best things that you can use to complete some of those harder tasks, especially related around the cultists. So first things first, let's take a quick look at each of the different tasks that come with the brand new event and why you're going to be wanting to complete these, and also how you can take advantage of them in general. So first things first is the whole brand new event comes with the drop of the new Rizzy thing that came out, and so with that we have the first quest in the quest line, which is Night of the Cult. And Night of the Cult is essentially available from your boy Jaeger. When you do actually jump into the game, you'll find it as a new task for you to complete, and the first one, very simple, is eliminate 5 hooded night people. You can find them on a wide variety of maps, excluding labs. And so with the cultists themselves, they are a much higher chance of actually spawning on all of the different maps alongside the cultist spawn for the bosses. And what's great about that is that obviously some of the bosses actually have the new keycard that was introduced into the game, which is kind of the Polikim Labs Access keycard, even though it's not actually for labs, but it essentially looks exactly like the yellow keycard in the game. You can find it on the flea market, and it was extremely expensive and was available from the cultists themselves. But in terms of the actual event and the task, you actually have to do, so the first one, eliminate 5 hooded night people. So what you can do with this is play on any of the kind of maps. So you can see here, you've got a different location, and you have to kill 5 cultists. They'll appear between 10 o'clock at night and 7 in the morning. So what you want to do is wait until 10 until 7 in the morning when you do actually want to find the cultist on all of the maps. In terms of actually making use of kind of just basically improving your chances of being able to see them and make it easier for yourself, what you're going to be wanting to do is take a look at one of the videos we did recently, which is essentially on how to see better in the night, and I will link that in the description of this video so you can see better. It's just some things that you can do to your display on your monitor, and also actually on the game itself, and how you can do that in terms of windows and that sort of stuff. So I'd highly recommend going and checking it out. It makes it super clear, super visible, and basically like daytime when you are playing in your night raids. So I'd highly recommend having a look at that. But in terms of what you can do on this, so you've got, lighthouse, you've got streets, you've got night factory as well, you've got customs, woods, and shoreline. So each of these maps actually have the cultist spawn on them. Lighthouse has a cultist priest with 1 warrior in the dilapidated village on the eastern island. So you can see right here, this is where it's at. So dilapidated island, this is where you will typically spawn. So you can spawn up here in the mountains next to the military base, and then you've got, of course, the chalets here and here, and it's essentially that kind of area in the middle. Often if you play as a scav, you'll spawn in this location, and so all you have to do is basically make your way over here and you'll find the cultist. You can not use any of your infrared or kind of stuff like that to be able to see the cultists, which is a bit of an issue because they are essentially kind of blind when you use any of your kind of heat registering devices that you might have in the game. So even night vision goggles, etc., will not show them up very easily, and certainly thermal sights, for example, will make it basically like they're not actually there, or at least you will see an outline, a shadow basically, but it's not like you would typically see with any of the other AI, because they have like kind of a avoidance to being able to be seen through thermals, which I guess is a bit annoying and makes it a little bit harder to farm them, but at the same time, that's where you find them on Lighthouse. Streets, you'll find them in kind of these, basically one of the better locations, which is a bit annoying if you're having to do other quests on the streets, because they can be randomly anywhere, and they'll kind of take up some of the AI spawns that would typically spawn in that area. Streets, for example, will spawn a cultist priest with 1 warrior. Night Factory has a cultist priest with 2 warriors. So due to the small size of the location, they have to be expected everywhere. So they can run about, they can do anything. And so I'd highly recommend just checking that one out. Customs, you got Cultist Priest with 4 warriors at the Scav base, so stronghold basically. So this is where you're going to be wanting to go and make your way to. Just be aware goons can still spawn, etc. So be aware that you don't get ambushed by both the cultists and the goons at the same time. But Custom seems to be the best place to actually farm up lots of them. So Cultist Priest with 4 warriors at the Scav base, ZB13 extraction building with the numerous mounted weapons as well. So you guys know where it is. Stronghold, fortress, whatever you want to call it, it is there. So super simple to get there. Woods, you've got Cultist Priest with 4 warriors, so similar to Customs, but obviously Woods being a lot larger, a lot more bushes, a lot more foliage, stuff to just be a bit more annoying to actually see them, and there's multiple locations as to where the cultists can be. So you can see here, down by the road, and essentially kind of the car that's in the middle of the road. You've got them in kind of the central area of the woods where you'll see where you can extract via outskirts, so on that road next to the kind of main sawmill down there. And then you've got one near in between the car extract and the Scav bridge as well. So just, you know, making your way to the village if you want to play on woods. I personally would not be playing on woods to try and farm cultists. And then on shoreline, you've got them at the health resort and also kind of down in the woods area near path to lighthouse. So I'd highly recommend, you know, you could use shoreline as well. But once again, quite a dark map anyway, and also lots more opportunities to just be beamed out of nowhere on a map like shoreline and woods, since it's a little bit more difficult to actually spot them in the game. But once again, highly recommend checking out the video which showcases how to see better in the nighttime raids. It's super simple to do. It takes about 2 minutes and will save you a lot of time, a lot of hassle, and just make everything super clear within the game. So I'd highly recommend doing that if you want to play a lot more night raids, which is what you're going to be doing for this quest line. So, as a brief overview, obviously just eliminate 5 for the first one. Then you'll move on to Graven Image, which you'll get a wide variety of other things like thermal scopes and stuff like that, as well as an abandoned factory marked room key, which is crazy, a mysterious room marked key. So this is for streets, and essentially all you have to do is locate and neutralize the Oni, locate and neutralize the Harbinger, and locate and neutralize the Ghost. So these are kind of like the, I guess, Scav bosses, whatever you want to call them. So the cultist bosses, Oni, Harbinger, and Ghost appear between 10 and 7 in the same spawn locations as the goons. So they'll spawn in the same place. They're kind of like the, I guess, cultist version of the goons. And so you'll find them at the Scav bunker, so typically where they'll be. On woods, you'll find them in the radio tower, so where the goons would spawn. Shoreline, you'll find them on the weather station tower. On lighthouse, you'll then find them either at the chalet area or down on the military base on the far bunker, like furthest away from when you're at the chalets. So super simple to know where they are, and probably going to be quite good to actually kind of farm these guys if you're confident enough and you want a bit of a challenge, something extra to do on Tarkov. So kind of a cool one. And so once you do that, you get some thermal sights, etc., and of course those keys. And then that leads on to Until Dawn. Until Dawn is the final quest in the quest line and will essentially reward you with marked room keys as well. So you'll get PKPM, RBVO, RBBK, T7 thermal goggles, which is amazing, and unlocks the purchase of Labayev DVL and also the Benelli M3 super shotgun as well after you complete it. This one is essentially eliminating 15 hooded night people on all of the different maps that can spawn night people, or cultists as there actually are. But that will be on Ground Zero, Lighthouse, Shoreline, Streets, Woods, Customs, and Night Factory. So that's something to actually keep in mind and just go through, find the best map. For me, I will be running probably Customs, as it's going to be the easiest one to actually see them, and there's a lot more cover that you can take when you actually are fighting them. So I'd highly recommend doing that, or something maybe like Streets if you're confident, to be able to kind of go around and just stick around that area and just try and find them, as well as Customs has one of the best spawns as well, and Woods. So yeah, something to keep a note of. But that's kind of not everything that I wanted to talk about, and I want to talk about some of the extra things that comes alongside these, as they have some of the best rewards for the time spent, I think. So let's jump over into the actual game. So jumping over to the actual game, and of course accepting Knight of the Cult from Jaeger, there we go. We have the first one, which is eliminating hooded night people, 5 of them, and giving us a Dorms 314 Mark Room key and some night vision goggles, which obviously you can ensure and get them back almost every single time, as long as you are running not on labs with those night vision goggles. So 12,500 XP, blah, blah, blah. But in terms of why I am going to be doing this, especially and focusing on trying to just farm this as much as possible, is for tasks like, for example, Hell on Earth. Now, typically, cultist spawns on a general day of Tarkov where there is no event. So prior to this, you're going to find hooded people very, very difficult to actually take out. So cultists are very difficult to find. They're very annoying, and they can be in random locations when you're playing on night raids. Now, they are relatively okay to try and find, but they are annoying. And so the fact that this event is in the game right now means that completing the cultist related task is going to be so much better. And so first thing I would do instantly is be taking out my MP431C 12 gauge for Hell on Earth Part 2 if you've got it unlocked, because although this isn't a required quest for Kappa or anything like that, it is one to complete, and it gives you a ton of XP, some rubles, gives you some extra bits as well, and it's one of the more difficult tasks to get, even though, you know, actually completing the task isn't too difficult, but trying to find the cultist reliably is. And when you're having to use an MP431C in every single one of your raids whilst you're trying to hunt for those, it's just not a fun task to complete. And so getting this done when this event is out is one of the things that I think everyone should at least try and do. If you don't have this task, I would recommend rushing to get this task, and so you can complete it. Now, as I said, not required for Kappa, so don't stress too much if you're just trying to grind out Kappa. You know, you don't have to play however you want it, but this is just something to keep in mind and complete. So any task that does require you to take out the cultist, I'd highly recommend doing. The other one is, of course, Night Sweep. So this one is finding the unusual knives in raid, so you need 12 of them, and it's one of the more annoying ones to complete, but essentially it is eliminating cultists and grabbing the knives that are off their bodies. This is something that really does take a lot more time than the MP one, and is far more hard to farm and extract and everything like that. So this should be made much, much quicker, much easier, and get this one done and out of the way as much and as fast as possible. So something else to keep in mind, and yeah, just get this task done alongside Hell on Earth Part 2, and you'll have done most of the annoying cultist tasks in the game. And of course, alongside doing that, you're getting a lot of rubles from potentially getting that Polikim keycard. So this is the one, the Terror Group storage room keycard. So right here, 8 million. You can get these off this the cultist bosses. So definitely worth actually trying to pick up. These were much, much more expensive at the first release when they were first introduced into the game, because the cultists are just so rare. But with the latest event, you're going to find them a lot easier. And so if you just want to farm these, then yeah, you can do that as well. So with that being said, that is today's video. Hopefully it gave you an overview. We'll get into how to take out the cultists tomorrow in a bit more of a guide or a video, and how you can farm them a bit more in tomorrow's video, or when I get a chance, maybe today as well. So thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more Escape from Tarkov PVE, and I will see you there. Goodbye.